So if you are new, this is in the studio with myself, Chris Arneson, and host running the show, Elena. We're on Goodman Games' official Twitch channel, and we're going to be doing some live drawing for you. Last episode, I was attempting to do a theme of the 80s cartoons, and my theme was Dungeons and Dragons, which is one of my favorite cartoons. And I had done a drawing of Venger and Dungeon Master using some guides that I pulled off the internet to give me some helpful information as to what their robes and stuff looked like, even though I didn't quite go by it exactly. I tried to at least make it somewhat my own. Did the sketch, scanned it in, adjusted proportions of the Dungeon Master or the Venger in the background because I thought he was too stumpy, and then printed that off. And this is as far as we got. Using my light box, have the printed off pieces behind this. Let's see if I can flip it up and show you. So that was the print of it, spliced it together at the size I wanted to ink it. And I laid the board. This is a watercolor 11x15 Canson watercolor paper over top of it, and I'd use the light box and just inked right over the drawing. It was tight enough, I felt. So so we didn't quite finish it, and I didn't get to finishing up the last few lines of the wing and his dress robe, whatever you want to call it. Later on, once I get that done, I might go and do some ink washes on it and possibly throw some watercolor color into it. We'll see. That's down the road if I get to it. So on tonight's episode, I just thought I'm going to do a free-for-all, winging it, just do the drawing. And I wasn't sure if I was going to do some shading for you or some inking and maybe ink wash, but I think I've decided to just go with pencil and some shading. I can whip shading in pretty quick, and it kind of gives it some depth and shape quick enough. So while you're watching it, you actually kind of see something progressing rather than just me inking some lines and, you don't get to see the finished thing because I'm taking too long, being too precise. So I'm going to be working on 11x14 Strathmore paper here, Bristol paper. Before I go ahead and do that, I'll give you a sneak peek on some characters that I'm doing. A couple I did today, and I've been doing them all week for Goodman Games Dark Tower Original Adventure Reincarnated coming up. Here is one character, Tyrion. This is the last thing I just finished before getting stuff ready for this. Now the description for him, let's see, is this is for Dark Tower. This is token artwork. It's going to be in color and in the book. So he's a dusky skinned male human fighter, a desert traveler with short black hair, wears plate armor, and carries a long sword. Excuse me. Now these NPCs are supposed to have an Egyptian flair, since that's kind of the setting. So I tried to give it a little bit of that. But yeah, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of, somewhat Egyptian hinting. So anyway, so this is Tyrion of Azulbar, and it's for OAR number 7, Dark Tower, coming soon to Kickstarter. The other one I did today was Argol. Argol is a human male fighter. Let's see, his sleight of build barely fills out his plate armor and wears a helm 3 sizes too big. 3 sizes too big seemed a little too big. He was looking a little more dark helmet from Spaceballs. And I'm like, nah, I don't think it's supposed to go that far. So I toned it down. It says he wields a long sword and has greasy black hair. Well, you're not going to really see his hair while he's got a helmet on, so we'll just assume it's greasy. Again, the setting is, like an Egyptian theme, so they wanted the NPC characters to have an Egyptian themed armor, so I tried to hint at that as best as I could. And the descriptions didn't specify shields, so that was a clarification. I emailed and asked, hey, can they have shields? They got plate armor. Sometimes shields are nice because you got to do less work, like on this guy. This shield covers up a whole lot. And I don't have to deal with what's going on behind there. And you got a cool looking shield, you know? I'll show you a couple other ones. This guy, I've never drawn a tiefling before, so I kind of had to look it up. Hopefully that works. His description was hunched figure pores over an ancient text while he twiddles the end of a whip-like tail. As he looks up at you, you are greeted with a gnarled face lined with mutton chops and messy black hair with gray streaks. A pair of smooth curved black horns adorn the crown of his head. So that's what I came up with. Hopefully that works for a tiefling. I didn't bother using reference like I don't for most of this stuff. So this hand holding the book was a little wonky, but I think it's good enough for what we're doing. If it was going to be for some cover piece, I might try and really, shoot some reference or whatever. But so that was Amit. I'll show you one more little thing here. This is Grodd, lesser son of Set. Giant cobra. This lesser son of Set resembles a massive cobra with large, shimmering, insect-like compound eyes. It lives in the bottom of a mist-enshrouded pit, the bottom of which is covered with a few feet of water. Yeah, I thought, I'll draw a well/pit with it coming out of it. Again, kind of like the shield saves me a little bit of this just being the snake and having, the rest of the body all coiled up and everything. Plus, this was kind of a little bit of an ode to the well and the cover of Dungeon of Dread, the Endless Quest book, if anyone's familiar with that. Cover painted by Larry Elmore. So that should be fun. Now, after I scan this, sending off the proof, like I said, sometimes I'll do some tweaks digitally before I print them off to the size that I want to work on them, either inking or painting. And this one, I decided to open up its lower jaw. So its lower jaw comes way down to here and up. And that was done digitally. So the final has a little bit more menacing of a mouth going on there. So anyway, those are some things that I've been working on for Goodman Games Dark Tower adventure coming up. soonish. So now what are we doing? So tonight's theme, let's flip this up higher. Tonight's theme, um, I thought I went with, let's see, do you have it in front of you, Elena?
Give me a second and I will.
I can give you
uh,
a second. Saves me a second from racking my brain. I'll
do,
let you look it up.
do. Eyeballs, tentacles, wings, and teeth. These are a few of my favorite things.
That's why I had her announce it. She was
Ah!
going to put it to a tune.
You tricked
That's how I
me!
wrote
You tricked me for one, and two, you've had that song stuck in my head for 3 days straight.
it. One more time. Can I hear it one more time?
When the dogs bite, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. You jerk. You're welcome. That's all you get.
Thank you. Doesn't she sing wonderfully even when she's got a cold? I knew it would be good to song. I even tried to lay out the words just right. Eyeballs, tentacles, wings, and teeth. These are a few. I don't sing as well as she does. And I was raising the octave. I suppose I should get to drawing, which I do maybe a little better. This is just scrap paper I'm using to, so I don't smudge things with my hand. This was a previous um, drawing watercolor for Goodman Games. All right, let's see. What do we want to do here? Eyeballs, tentacles, wings, and teeth. I got to be careful with tentacles. That's a tricky word sometimes when you're saying it fast.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
shouldn't have.
I'm not censoring that, just so we
I,
all
I
know.
shouldn't have taken a drink of my coffee just after I said that because I almost spit it out when you started laughing. All right. What are we gonna do here? This might be a little bit light to begin with as I figure out what in the world I'm doing.
The way you described it, it sounds like another Beholder is coming out.
Could be some sort of beholderish thingamabobber. Is that too blown out, too light for you guys to see, probably?
Yeah, the pencil sketching is always the lightest part. That's a little better.
I'm just doing this real light just to get an idea for right now here.
Jeff says it's just a cat in a snowstorm.
A cat?
A cat in a snowstorm, yeah. You can't see it because of all the snow.
Well, you're assuming it's a white cat.
I mean, yes,
I
but
mean, it could
also,
be a black cat.
I mean, it could, but also, like, if you've ever seen, like, super duper blizzards, like, you can't see anything through them. Heck, I could barely see through, we talked about this on the way back from, oh man, what was it? Was it Origins? That weird freak snow in the middle of April or something? Or no, it wasn't Origins then. It was, March. It was the weird freak snow in March coming back from GaryCon. I had a snow squall. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see the, 18 wheeler that was, in front of me, 2 car lengths ahead. I'm like, I can't even see your lights, buddy.
Man, oh man.
Oh, Jeff did say it was a white cat in a snowstorm. I just missed that earlier.
Well, still, I think Jeff should know better. Hmm. Let's see. Do I want this guy? Is We've got some wings. Getting an eyeball in here. Is that a cough?
It was.
Keep it up.
The, the people can't hear me cough. I directly mute myself for that. You're welcome, people. But Chris gets to
Um,
hear it all the time.
well, they need to hear something, and then my focus is so intense that I'm not speaking.
Is it really focused, though?
This is a figure of speech. Let's see here. Doing a beholder-ish thing.
It's just gonna be a beholder with wings.
I almost thought you said a butt holder with wings. It could be. It's entirely possible.
Sup, TSW? Also, um, no, I'm crazy. I thought I saw something. Never mind.
Thought you saw something.
You know, sometimes my eyes like to play tricks on me. Or maybe I'm hallucinating. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If I like that one going off back there. Darn it.
It's pencil. Nothing's inked yet. We're all good.
Are you?
I'm not,
I'll be.
personally, no.
Okay. I'll be the judge of this. I think you people should entertain me.
You got me to sing. I already entertained you. I've done my time.
There can always be more song.
So TSW does have a question. Have you ever made a giant snow sculpture for the Lake Geneva Winter Festival?
I have not. I have not been asked or thought about it or ever done that. I did kind of joke around to Jeff once saying we should look into trying to do that. But that was when I was younger and could maybe manage to be out in the cold weather. Jeff would probably be doing the best sculpture, but so I thought about it. Sort of. That answers the question. I'm not liking these tentacles that much this time. We'll turn it out into something.
Follow-up question to the ice or snow sculpture. What would you sculpt?
Sculpture? Was that too smart alecky, I guess? I don't know. Something easy?
Like a snowman? That's what I would do. I'd do a snowman.
Making me think of a song. But I
No.
don't know.
Nope. I'm neither doing Frosty the Snowman nor the Frozen song that is now stuck in my head, and it's making me want to sing it, even though I don't like that song.
So you're saying you don't want to build a snowman?
9! 9!
Are you sure you don't want to build a snowman?
Yeah. Also, Sergeant Mechanic or SG Mechanic. I keep calling it Sergeant Mechanic whenever I read it, but SG Mechanic, thank you for the raid of 6 people. Welcome. Welcome to the silliness that's happening.
Hey guys, I'm trying to mess around and do something based off of our theme of tonight's, which is eyeballs, tentacles, wings, and teeth. So right now I'm in the quick sketch phase. Figuring out how I'm working with this, and then I'll shade it up.
Big Mac TMMM says generic wink monster with wink attacks.
Careful, he might wink at you.
Aren't those body parts what go into a typical hot dog? That's a good one, TSW.
Debating if I want to attempt to draw a little figure here. That means I would have to try and work on my figure skills, which I'm not as good at under pressure.
But is it pressing down on you?
I was just going to ask if you're feeling under pressure.
Ba-da-day. Anyway, that one definitely will get copyright stricken if I try to do that.
Oh, let's see here.
Scottish Jeff says you could draw a doe, a deer, a female deer. I refused it. I was tempted, but I didn't. feel like Jeff and you are secretly talking every time your hands go away to get something else on the table. You're texting Jeff like, "Hey, I bet I could get her to sing this time."
I'm working on it. What else do I want to put in here?
You know what the worst thing about today is, while you're thinking over what to put in the middle of that? I had a bunch of topics that I wanted to talk to you about, and of course, they all hit me because I wasn't thinking about it yesterday like I should have. But of course, they all hit me while I'm driving down the road, and I've completely forgotten all of them.
Well, it's the thought that counts. I think we've gone over this.
Yeah, this is true. It's true. It's like a bad Christmas gift. At least you got something.
I didn't get anything.
Well, okay, yeah, I mean, technically, no, but we're thinking about the physical something, or the not physical something, the fact that I thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Scottish Jeff says it's never a good thing when something hits you while you're driving. I guess it, yeah, whether a thought or a car, it's not good.
Back to whistling. Ooh, gnomish wizard guy.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
Now TSW saying I bet I can make Elena sing.
Yeah.
What now? What are you gonna tempt me with now? Knock knock. Alright, who's there?
Is there a Pokemon theme song?
I wanna be the very best. Dang it! Little old lady? Little old lady who? I love
All
this.
right, here's a little Nomi type guy. Can everyone see
Ooh,
this?
I like him.
Little Nomi wizard. We're gonna have a little chest over here.
I like his robe. Like, even in the sketch, his robe looks like it's a little too big for him. Like he's gonna trip over it.
He just might.
I didn't know you could yodel.
What's that?
So the knock knock joke was knock knock,
Who's there?
little old lady.
A little old lady who?
I didn't know you could yodel.
Uh-huh.
Courtesy of TSW in the
Little
chat.
old lady who? Now things are happening.
Now all I can think of is the stupid cough drop commercial. Ricola.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. I haven't thought about that in ages.
That's not stupid.
I mean, that commercial was a little stupid. Though.
Hey, my cousin wrote that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say what I was about to say anyway. Most commercials are a little stupid. Mainly because it's a marketing ploy to make you look. And if it keeps your attention, and especially if you remember it, like the stupid O'Reilly's commercial for auto parts, I still know that tune by heart because I heard it on the radio all the time. And I hate it. But it works. I know O'Reilly's.
What about the theme song to tonight's episode?
I hate that the only thing I could think of was the Mission Impossible theme song.
The theme song to tonight's episode?
When you said the theme song to, and then, like, my brain shut off, I heard you say tonight's episode, but at the same time, my brain, whenever somebody says theme song, immediately goes to Mission Impossible.
I see. Not the Gummy Bears song?
Fun fact, I don't know the Gummy Bears song well enough to be able to sing it.
Dang it, I thought I'd get you.
No.
Bouncing here and there and everywhere?
Yeah, no, Gummy Bears wasn't one of the shows I watched.
I tried. Gummy Bears! Anyone been watching The Last of Us?
I kind of forgot that it came out. Is it good?
That's all right. I don't know anything about the potential game or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If that's is that what it was supposed to be after? Was it a game?
Yeah, it was based off of a video game. It's a good video game too. Like I enjoyed The Last of Us a lot. But I don't know. I am just very cynical when it comes to video games that are, or rather shows and movies based off of video games, because most of them suck.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
But I don't know. If there was one video game franchise that I think it has a good enough story to make a show or movie out of, Last of Us is one of them. because you
Hmm.
don't even have to make it about the main characters, which I think is what they did.
Could be. I'm not proficient on the cartoon, as I said.
Scottish Jeff also says that movies based on toys is also they normally turn out terrible. So yes, yes, all I can think of is like the Bionicles movies. God, those were bad.
Bionicles movies.
Yeah, do you remember Bionicles?
I didn't watch them, but I'm familiar with. Yep.
Yeah, I remember having those toys growing up. Well, I didn't have them, but I remember my friend down the street had them, and we played with them all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So can everyone make out what's going on so far?
I could see it now on OBS, so I would hope so.
You can see it now.
I would also hope that someone would tell me if the screen goes dark all of a sudden. Because I have no way of knowing on my end.
What?
Well, at least not right now.
What are you doing? You're not watching?
I'm watching Zoom.
Oh. Oh, I see. So you can't see something.
Yeah, like the other tabs that I have going on for the stream are in front of the like actual stream preview. So if it goes dark and OBS doesn't tell me it goes dark, somebody please tell me.
This is your traditional cave with stalagmites, stalactite, wizards, and beholder treasures standoff, I guess. That might kind of be like a little sturge, if I remember what those are correctly. I don't like that. The show almost over? Let's see now. How do I want to go about this? Tell me now. Let's see. I don't know if I'm gonna like what I'm doing here, but
I'm sorry for the jingly noises, everybody in chat. My cat decided to jump up on me, and her collar's very
you
loud.
tell your cat this is an important show.
Well, I normally keep the door closed, but they opened it because I didn't
And if
close it all the way.
they're gonna be here, they need to participate.
I did try to get her to meow at the microphone, but the microphone wouldn't pick her up.
Well,
Yeah, stalactite is from the ceiling. Jeff is putting in the dictionary.
mm-hmm.
From the Greek stalactos, which means to drip or dripping. That makes sense.
I can see that. Is the ASMR part of the show? So what I'm doing is I'm taking some charcoal medium. I'm rubbing it on a piece of paper, and then I'm picking it up with this stump, and then I'm transferring it down. This then saves me from having all those pencil lines and everything.
So, what do you call that little thing that you're using? You said it was a stump?
A stomp, I
A
think.
stomp.
I think
Okay.
I've called it a stump before. Wait, I mean that's what I mean. I think a stump. I think I've called it a stomp before, but I believe it's a stump. But I've been known to mispronounce things here and there.
I mean, to be fair, you can't trust me.
Can't trust who?
You can't trust me. Like, I
Oh,
say things wrong all the time. I didn't know the difference between a stalactite and a stalagmite and a stalactite and a stalactite. So,
sure. What about lava and magma?
lava is. I believe lava is what comes out when it hits. No, lava, I believe, is inside of it still. And magma is when it's out and exposed to air and it, like, ashes, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be thinking of it backwards because I'm pretty sure the difference is like one is the one that's still inside of like the volcano and the earth and whatnot, which I think now that I'm thinking about is magma, and lava is what comes out.
All right, you passed.
I had to think about it because isn't the core of the earth made of it and it's magma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to build a snowman?
No! 9!
You sure you don't want to build a snowman?
Ich das nicht.
Sprechen Sie English.
Nein! Ich spreche kein English. Scottish Jeff is like, she wants to build 9 of them.
Is it a little better if I bring the contrast down?
Yeah, that's better. Whoa.
How's that?
This is the Chris plays with his camera show.
It is. It is. Is anybody listening to any good music while they're watching the show?
You know, if I didn't know any better, I think you'd be asking for some music right now.
Let's see here. Does anyone have a backstory for this? What's the backstory?
Someone who's better at coming up with things on the spot. Hurry. I saw, I think Brendan LaSalle is lurking somewhere in the chat earlier. He said hello and then disappeared. So I wonder, maybe he might have something.
Man, nobody told me.
Well,
God.
he said hello. It was in the middle of you making me sing, so it's your own fault.
Man, oh man. This is how we get some fast shape going on in here. Didn't realize I'm shaking this that much. Sorry about that. Hopefully no one's getting dizzy. going on in chat? Anything? Bueller?
Nothing right now. Jeff is saying he's got his paintbrush in hand.
Well, get to work. I'm going to resort to making sound effects pretty soon here. We got any foreign, any people in any interesting countries watching?
If they are, they've kept their mouth shut, and I've probably scared them away with my German.
I suppose.
Jeff is saying he's painting a dragon mini. What color dragon, though? What kind of dragon is it?
Boy, I gotta look up. I didn't realize I'm really shaking the camera on this. So right now I'm just kind of laying in the feel of everything. Laying down some shade and creating some atmosphere. PSW still here, or did he leave us high and dry?
Oh, I definitely probably scared him off. Uh, Jeff is doing currently a light blue with ivory chest scales and a desert yellow underneath with the scale, or like underneath the scales, and a necrotic light green under the wings. Ooh, I like it so far. I expect pictures. I
Don't
want to
encourage
see.
him.
I'm going to encourage him. I think it's cool. I want to paint minis.
How is everyone feeling about tonight's episode? Do they feel like they're seeing more progress than just a little bit of something like on the other ones? Hopefully it looks better on your screens than it does on mine. I know it looks better in person. Not to toot my horn, but what I see on screen isn't as acceptable. Not as acceptable. Sure. I hear you. That makes sense.
I just realized I was muted that entire time. Nobody needs to know. It was a secret conversation. Why are you asking?
Secret conversations.
Jeff says that he's liking the new like basically saying he likes the new show, this new episode, because you're just showing another technique by like using the charcoal to fill in those negative spaces, which I only think you did once last season, but it was very very quick and it you just didn't do it again.
I did kind of I did it with the dragon. Um, I mean, I shaded some things, but most of the other stuff I didn't try and do a scene. I just did creatures, individual things, not so much no, not so much an actual picture, an actual scene. So the details I'm going to go back in once I'm done laying down this tone here. Trying to get this done quick so I can finish this tonight for you. We got what, 40 minutes, 40 some odd minutes left.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Gonna start with some cleanup. It's a tiny little eraser pen, pencil pen thing that I found on, it was either on Amazon or Jerry's Artorama, Artorama, however you pronounce it. So kind of clean these edges up and give it an interesting, more of an interesting outline here. Kind of fun getting to go back in and erase things out. It's the one of the fun parts about working like this. Any Raiders sticking around?
I have no idea, but see you, TSW. Thanks for hanging out. He's saying it's looking awesome as usual, but he's got to run.
PSW, you had better get your butt back in here. Did I say you could leave? I don't think so.
You have to stick around for 40 more minutes. Oh, hey. Matt is in the chat. Hello, Matt.
Hello, Matt. I'm assuming you're talking about Matt, the important one, or is there a different Matt?
I'm talking about art director Matt, yes.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify. He's the one I sent my sketches I showed you earlier to. I gotta wait for approval on. Those guys are usually nice and quick, which is great. I was gonna take a break at some point and show off one of my favorite books from when I was a kid, The Art of Dragonlance and The Art of Dungeons and Dragons, but if I do that, I don't know if I'll have time to get this baby done, so that might have to wait.
Scottish Jeff says, Curious George?
If Scottish Jeff was listening, Scottish Jeff would have heard me say, what?
Curious George goes to Corinne.
Goes to what?
Goes to Corinne.
Isn't that fun erasing stuff out? Are you kids having fun?
I'm having fun. But you know how you were talking about your sketches earlier and how they're normally really quick to respond to you?
Uh-huh.
Matt just said everything you sent for DT is approved to finish.
Excellent. Thanks, Matt. I've got one more sketch to finish. Hopefully I should get that tomorrow. And then I'll start coloring. Coloring. Is that a giggle, a cough,
Oh, I
hiccup?
coughed. I coughed. Again, chat can't hear me, but you can.
Okay. I just want to
But
make sure you're all right.
yeah, no, I'm
Don't
fine.
want you
I'm
don't
just
want you croaking on air.
I'm slowly dying, but I'm good. But Matt, also to what you said earlier about your art and stuff while I was, trying not to die. He said sounds great to him.
Excellent. Matt's a great guy. And I'm not just saying that.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Hey, Matt, should I tell him about my first experience with you as an art director? Is Matt still here?
He is.
He is. Well, I'll share this story. Give me something to talk about.
He said not sure about that.
Oh, he did nothing wrong. He was perfect. So it was basically me. So since I have been, how long has he been on with us? 3 years, 2 years?
I couldn't tell you. I've been here since I was like filling spaces in 2020 and got picked up full time last year. So, I don't know.
Calling him out a little bit on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, see if he'll answer. Anyway, so Joseph used to do all the art directing, so we deal directly with him. He would send out, the art exam, requests and samples, and sometimes he would be like, just send a PDF of the page and be like, well, find something on the page that stands out that you like, and you know illustrate it. So basically, just finding something. And the wonderful thing about Goodman Games is they're real flexible with the art. Rarely, as long as you're following the description, you know, fairly well, you don't get any revisions. And was used to not getting any revisions at all. Yeah, you do the sketch, you send it in, boom, yeah, go ahead, it's proved. Um, so when Matt came on, I think I was working on Empire of the East, which is something that people are familiar with, that probably read the books and stuff. But unfortunately, to reveal, I'm not much of a reader, so I probably never read much of those Appendix N books that everyone's always talking about. Um, anyway, I had to do, let's see, the description was some sort of drone, insect-like drone. And I scoured the internet for extra information from the book and stuff to see if I could get some more information on it. So I was doing it justice, I guess, because it was described as insect like, but this is all past age military stuff that was repurposed after the Third World War or something. Anyway, my storytelling is not the best here. Anyway, I didn't take it. It was a drone, kind of like a helicopter, and it had insect-like tentacle retractable legs to pick up. It was a medic drone. So these 6 insect-like tentacle legs would come out to pick people up. But I never took the description as actual insect-like. Just the idea of it's got these 6 tentacles, Anyway, so I did my sketch with the drone. I thought it looked pretty good. And I get the like I said, normally it's looks great, go ahead. And unexpectedly I got I think it should look more insect-like. And I was like, what? I might have gotten a little snippy, and I've already apologized to him before. And so this is a new art director, and I don't know him. I don't know how wonderful of a guy he is. All I know is I've had it easy before, and now this guy's got me making a change. and I'm not ready for it. So I'm like, all right. So I did a revised sketch, and I think it still wasn't insect-like enough. And I'm looking up, I think he was referencing a dragonfly, so I'm looking up the dragonfly and trying to, get this as close and fighting my feelings and inklings on this and everything. But so I might have been a little perturbed and politely snippy in my replies. But I don't know if he ever took it that way or not, but needless to say, I just all right, I'm just going to do what he says and not argue my interpretation, which, we finished up the project, did it. And yeah, it was just fine. But yeah, that was my first experience. And I felt a little bad. If I was a little snippy with him, but he turned out to be a really exceptional, excellent addition to everything. So that was my first little story.
It's also really funny because in the chat, Matt's like, meanwhile, I was emailing Harley to get all the details so that I could help direct you. He also said, no snippiness detected, so.
I tried to be sneaky about it.
Little, like, passive aggressive jabs, like.
I'm good at that, yes. I will say. Ever since then, though, I don't know if I've had any other revisions. one or two, but that's just because they're like with the OAR books, they want to be pretty specific, but it's back to normal. Sadly, I can be a bit notorious for being little bit late on deadlines. Not all the time, but trying to be better. Well, I'm working on this little surge thingy, thingamajigger.
Okay, I don't think I know what a sturge is.
I didn't either until I had to do one for the Temple of Elemental Evil in the taxidermy shot. I had to do a sturge. It's kind of like and this isn't exact, kind of like a mosquito type thing. That's why he's got this little long little beak.
Mm-hmm.
So have you been watching anything interesting? Or did I already ask that tonight?
Um, you asked if we've watched The Last of Us.
Yes.
Um, in generalization of watching anything, I just got around to watching Peacemaker.
Okay.
It's
And
pretty
your
good.
thoughts?
It's pretty good. I did not expect it to be good. Let me put it that way. I saw the trailer for it and I put it on the radar of I'll check it out sometime. And yeah, no, Tyler and I just decided to watch it cuz it came up like recommended after we watched uh Black Adam on some streaming site or whatever. And yeah, no, it was pretty good. We watched 2 episodes at like 1 in the morning, and we had to like forcefully turn off the TV before we started binging it.
I figured that I think we probably talked about that last season um I think it might have been on when I did my last season. I don't know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I saw it and I remember thinking, this looks pretty stupid
Mhm.
from the previews and everything. But once I started watching it, I was like, this is hilarious. It was pretty good and it was hilarious, and I was real happy with it.
What I appreciate about it is that, excuse me, hang on. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. What
Oh
I
my gosh.
What I appreciate about Peacemaker is that it doesn't take itself seriously. It
Yes.
100% as a show knows what it is, but it is not in any way like whatever this new stupid trend is that's been going on since like 2016 or whatever, where everything has to be a meta joke in shows because writers can't be funny. Um, I am like, it doesn't take itself seriously. It doesn't expect you to take the show seriously, but it still actually has some pretty serious moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's there's a lot of heart to it. Um, but at the same time, it's just hilarious. And you said it real well. It knows what it is.
I will say, because I was talking about this with somebody the other day, if this is kind of the direction that DC is going, where, you know, they can take themselves seriously in that, you know, it is a superhero movie, but it's not a comedy. Like, I don't know if you've seen Black Adam.
I did, and that one I couldn't didn't do it for me.
Okay, fair enough. So, the reason I enjoyed it is because I hated Justice League so bad.
Sure.
Because, and this is, excuse my stupid DC slash superhero nerdiness real quick, but what I loved about it, what I loved about Black Adam, because I don't think it's like 10 out of 10 best superhero movie ever made. 100% agree with all of that criticism. I will never tell you that it's the best thing I've ever seen since sliced bread. But what I will tell you is that it did what Justice League tried to do, but better. So, and the reason I say this is the final fight. The actual, like, nitty gritty of you've got all of them who have to go against this, you know, big bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the Justice League movie was basically right after Batman versus Superman. And spoiler alert, everybody out there in Twitch land, Superman dies. They bury Superman. Steppenwolf happens in Justice League, right? He comes to Earth. He's looking for the mother box.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he comes to Earth, and nobody, none of the Justice League, who are strong as heck, can do anything about Steppenwolf. Okay, cool. Take a step back. That's fine in its own. If
Mm-hmm.
they were
Mm-hmm.
all attacking him, not simultaneously, but one by one, and they're getting knocked down, 100% agree you need to do something. But what the problem with Justice League was is that Superman was the end all be all. It was literally a movie about if Superman isn't there, nothing can be done. Superman has to, you know, be the
Mm-hmm.
shining white knight glistening in the sun to save us from everything outside of our realm, which is not what the Justice League is. The Justice League is about getting together a group of heroes and they all simultaneously can work together to end whatever the, you know, they can't do on their own individually. That's the point of the
Mm-hmm.
Justice League. Now, take that to Black Adam, and everybody leave now because spoilers are incoming, and I'm sorry, I have to spoil it. Um,
You
basically,
spoiler.
big giant fight, right? Big bad. Won't tell you who it is. You guys can find that for yourselves. But big bad, Black Adam is locked away because he is also, you know, everybody knows Black Adam is a bad guy because he kills people and that's not a hero thing to do, and heroes, you know, you can't do that kind of stuff, you know. So he gets locked away. And he's without his power, blah 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 blah. So the entire time the Justice Society are, you know, they think that, you know, now that Black Adam's out of the way, he's not going to bother anybody, he's not going to hurt the world, he's not going to blah blah blah, whatever it is that they've come to do. So he gets locked away, and in the middle of it, the big bad happens. You know, the big reveal, big bad happens, you know, apocalyptic nonsense on the earth. And basically Dr. Fate goes after the big bad because he's like, I can't see my friend die. I don't want blah 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 blah. I can't, you know, he sees this future thing as Dr. Fate does. And so he holds his own. This is the part that it makes it 10 times better than Justice League ever was. Dr. Fate single-handedly holds his own against the big bad so that he can
you say that once more? He does what?
Shut up. So he can astral project himself, like his brainwaves, to Black Adam to wake him from his sleep and get him there because he literally is prophesized to be the only one to stop the apocalyptic nightmare in, you know, this specific country because it's his home, you know, and like he's the only one with godlike powers who can go against another godlike being. So, you know, they like the Justice Society is useless in the face of basically a god. And that's the thing that makes it make sense. Steppenwolf was not a god. He was just a galactic being, very strong one. But if the Justice League would have just been the Justice League and gotten together, they wouldn't have needed Superman. But no, they had to bring Superman back because Superman is a god and he's not. But, you know, that's just me. Anyway. I agree with what you said, Jeff, that he does have plot armor, and I understand the contrivances, but it's the fact that, like, even if Dr. Fate hadn't been able to do it by himself, holding off, you know...
Doing what?
Shut up. Holding off the big bad by himself, if he wouldn't have been able to do that... when I get really excited, I have a hard time forming words, okay? Especially when I'm ad-libbing it. So,
I love the sound of it.
so even if Dr. Fate couldn't do it, the others could have still stepped in at some point. Like, oh, you're meaning Superman. Yeah, you could say it was his fate to hold off Steppenwolf. You could, but it wasn't. It was just, like, you could say that it was his fate, but there was nothing in the plot to say it was his fate, whereas throughout the entire film of Black Adam, it is Black Adam's fate. Like, it is actually stated that in, like, well, not specifically stated in the it's your fate to do this, but it is by having Dr. Fate by proxy, having the visions throughout the film, like, you know... Where was Shazam? I don't know, off doing another movie?
Yeah,
Isn't there a Shazam 2?
It's been a long since I've seen Shazam, the first one.
Didn't watch that one.
But I think I liked that, if I recall, better than I thought I was gonna. I wasn't expecting much, and it, I think, surprised me.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it in a while. But Black Adam, I don't know that I was expecting much either because of reviews and whatnot, but I
found it so much better than Justice League. Justice League disappointed me so badly because what I wanted was a team movie about, you know, about the Justice League. Like, I wanted to see my favorite superhero group, one of them at least, like, be able to, you know, take on a big baddie in a big giant showdown like the Avengers, but no. We gotta...
Well, yeah, I can't say I liked Justice League. I can't remember which one I tolerated better, which version.
Yeah.
But yeah, Black Adam, there was some really cool stuff that I thought was going to be really neat, and then there's some stuff that I was like, what?
Yeah,
I just didn't.
I'll say the number one downfall, number one downfall was Atom Smasher. He was the biggest issue I had with the movie. And the
Was
reason
what?
Atom Smasher, the guy who can make himself small or really big.
Oh yeah, he was
So
annoying.
the thing is that like the issue that I have with him, like is only because of the writing. So we already had comedy coming from like um no, he's Atom Smasher is what he's called in the movie, Jeff, not Ant-Man. Um but I think most of the comics just call him the Atom or Atom. But I think because Black Adam and Atom sound too similar, they call him Smasher throughout
Yeah.
the film. But which is their fault, just choose a different hero. But you know, whatever, that's a whole nother plot problem. But like the issue with the writing with him was not only did they costume design him to look a little bit like Deadpool, but they gave him the personality of Deadpool, and I'm sorry, only Ryan Reynolds really can carry that kind of comedy attitude that, you know, is Deadpoolish and is like just kind of funny doofus kind of thing. And
Hmm.
then you've got on top of that Dwayne Johnson playing Black Adam, which is very much a straight man but in a comical way. And that it's funny because I've talked about this with Tyler. Like I found the humor with Black Adam to be at the right points where maybe it didn't get like a giant guffaw out of me, but it definitely like it made me do like a good chuckle like here and there. And there were a couple of times where I busted out laughing just at the silliness that was like Black Adam in the modern world because he's, you
Hmm.
know, been away for what 500 5,000 years or something. So it's like it was interesting because I don't know why they chose to have another comic relief character because you already had the one.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I'd liked it better. Trying to rush a little bit, you guys. I'm not gonna make the. I think I'll get it completely done here.
Oh, wait a second.
What?
I might be confusing him because I thought they changed him in. Hang on. I'm correcting myself on
Hmm. Hmm.
something that uh Jeff pointed out. I may be wrong, and I think that I might be getting Atom Smasher and the Atom confused, but hang on. Where are your powers and abilities? There you are. No, Adam possesses the power to alter his size down to the subatomic level, retaining his natural strength level. This is accomplished by remnants of white dwarf star that made into a belt buckle worn within his costume. So, yeah, I am correct. Okay, no, I am right. It's the Atom is the one that's just like Ant-Man.
And
Um
don't you ever question her again, Jeff.
no, it made me think. It made me think and I appreciate it because if I am wrong, then I want to know I'm wrong, but I was pretty sure that the Atom is who I was thinking of. Cuz I remember reading cuz I didn't know a lot about the Atom other than his his abilities, their abilities, now that I think there's a female Atom? Atomica, I think is her name. But I remember reading parts or part of Blackest Night right before the new 52.
Oh man, I'm trying, guys, but probably gonna have to finish this up some other time so you can see it. As I see our time is dwindling. I'm assuming you still want off at 1:45, right?
Yeah, you can go a little bit over that if you really want to. Like, I just need to be on in enough time to be able to switch up the scenes.
Sure. Well, I'm not gonna. It wouldn't make or break it. Put it that way. So, whatever gives you a comfortable amount of time. Um, probably going to be finishing this off screen at some future date, and then getting back to showing it later on. But I still got to put all the lighting in, do all of the little wizard, finish all the eyeballs. A lot of erasing going on here. So, for instance, I'll be putting in erasing in details like such here, because this is gonna be this wizard's gonna there's gonna be some light coming from his little staff there. I love going back in and erasing in the highlights. Fun. Makes the stuff pop. Make his tongue stand out a little bit more.
I think it's kind of neat how you've just used pencil and it looks like this, and it kind of has like this black and white painted look. I don't know, there's something so cool about charcoal because of that.
Well, I discovering and getting used to doing this, like where I throw in the tone and then erase stuff out. That really is brings out a lot more. So it's also makes it a lot easier and a lot faster than for me anyway, if I were to try and just shade it, literally with the pencil rather than being able to be subtractive with it with an eraser. Especially when you're dealing with glowing and whatnot.
Yeah, like what you just did is you erased like a conical, almost conical shape there,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like the eyeball is glistening. And that's all you did was just erase.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
insane to
And
me.
and that's what I'll be doing here, with this little glowing. Not sure I'm like this exactly, but gives his little glow with his staff.
Yeah, no, that looks really cool.
But lots to do still. I've got this electric eraser. It's not the best. Um, but it can be kind of fun.
It kind of sounds like when you're at the dentist.
Ah, there's better ones. Um, this is I discovered this. I've heard people talking about it. It's like I gotta try and get one of those. I'm not a pro at it, and I think there's, like I said, there's better ones, but yeah, they're pretty fun. What do we got? 7:48. Well, I don't want to keep you. I know you've got to prepare for the next show and
Yes, sirree. Keep crawling with Mike and Brendan is on next.
all the things you got to do for that. I was actually pretty happy with what I've got here.
Yeah.
Kind of fun. Sometimes something like this is way more enjoyable than trying to do something specific, um, and be meticulous. This has no big major, things, expectations I have to meet. And it's just fun, uh, putting in stuff, details, and, you know, stalagmites, stalactites, and, you know, a beholder type guy. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed. Um, I don't know if I'll have it done for the next episode to show, but I'll get this one done, and then I'll probably also finish up the Avenger and Dungeon Master, and have other things to show you from the Dark Tower and Dungeon Denizens to keep you entertained. Um, but yeah, we'll see what I do next time. Do you know if we're doing Monday or is that up in the air? It can be up in the air, no pressure.
Um, I don't have a reason not to. We just
Okay.
have to be off before Mauve Mike.
All right. Well, then we will probably see you guys next Monday.
Sick.
Well, thanks again for showing up, and we'll catch you later.
Bye,
Have a
everybody.
good night.